Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Season for Nonviolence daily reading and call to action. My name is Reverend Rafe Ellis. I am the senior minister and spiritual leader at the Columbia Center for Spiritual Living in Columbia, Maryland. The Gandhi King Season for Nonviolence begins on January 30th and goes through April 4th. It marks the 64 calendar days between the memorial anniversaries of the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi and that of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The Gandhi King Season for Nonviolence was co founded in 1998 by Mahatma Gandhi's grandson, Dr. Arun Gandhi, and the Association for Global New Thought. The objective is to create an awareness of nonviolent principles and practices as a powerful way to heal, transform, and empower our lives and our communities that we live in. The daily practices are designed to educate and inspire individuals and organizations to actively seek out and practice nonviolent means by which to empower themselves and one another to coexist in peace and prosper together in community. Today is day 18, February 16th. The thought for today is freedom. And we have three quotes from different civil rights activists. The first being from Diane Nash, who said, quote, "Freedom by definition is people realizing that they are their own leaders," end quote. And then from Bishop Desmond Tutu, quote, "When people decide they want to be free, there is nothing that can stop them," end quote. And from Nelson Mandela, the quote, "To be free is to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others," end quote. And so today we're invited to take a leadership role in our own life, to find a way where we can express who we truly are that doesn't infringe on who someone else truly is. Sometimes that's easier said than done. And so our call to action today, I'll claim my definition of freedom. So I see that there's a couple of folks that are logged in, and I'm wondering, do you know what your definition of freedom is? And are you willing to share that in the chat this morning? When I think about my own definition of freedom, it begins with the freedom to think and to examine my thoughts. More than my behavior, my freedom is anchored in my thinking. And I think one of the challenges of humanity is we sometimes confuse freedom with license, that having freedom gives me license to behave in any way I choose, no matter who that impacts. And for me, which is all I can ever really be the authority on, is me. Freedom requires, much like the Desmond, or actually the Mandela quote, to be free to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Because I really truly do believe in the oneness of creation. And so I believe that how I show up impacts me and everybody else. That if I am abusive to you, I am first abusive to me, and vice versa, because there's only one. And so when I think about this idea of freedom, it has to include you. It has to include everybody. Um, and for me, the way to do that is at the level of intention, at the level of thought. And then I allow the thought and I allow the alignment of my inner self and my human self through thought to operate in congruence. And so for me, freedom is that. The call to action goes on to say, I'll write a haiku poem about freedom. And so, first thing I'm going to have to do is look up haiku to see what the form of that actually is. I have a vague memory from 10th grade English, but that's been a while. So, I will play with that today. I will look up a haiku and see what the format of that is and try my hand at writing a haiku about freedom. And I invite you to do the same, to have fun with this stuff. Um, that's all I have this morning. Um, yeah. Have a fabulous day. Go be peace.